Hi, Cord. How you doing, man? Oh, let me turn on my mic. There we go. Hope it works. Chun, 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 chun. Hi, Cord. How you doing, man? I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad. Had a long day today, but not too shabby. Can't complain. Can you hear me okay? Because I just connected my mic. I realized it was disconnected, so um, right now I think I'm using a different mic. I don't even know which one. But let me know if you can hear me okay. Probably gonna have to try to reconnect it. Sounds good? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know I have another mic. I think it's the mic from the computer, not this mic. So it might sound a little different than what it usually sounds like. So thank you for letting me know. How are you doing today? Did you do any trades today, iCord? Um, I don't know. I don't know if you're like trading daily or what your plan is, or you're just barely starting and trying to learn and get into the, get your feet wet. Is that your plan, iCord? Just wait for a few minutes, get some more people in the live, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Have a couple of things to share with you guys today. A couple of interesting things. Dipping my toes in paper trading and watching the news today. Awesome. That's the best way to start, man. I didn't start that way. Uh, I was very anxious to get started, so I didn't do paper trading. But that's the smart way to do it, because that way you can start to experiment with different indicators, and and then you get an idea, of how to trade, when to trade, and if you start losing money, then at least it's fake money. If you make money, I mean, at least now you start to get a good idea. I haven't entered into any positions. I'm still holding my Google positions, so I have some stocks in Google. I have some stocks in Amazon. I'm planning to do a cover call, which if you watch my video, you probably know what that is now. So it's just another way to make money in the meantime. Like, I do plan to sell my Google and Amazon. Amazon, I'm looking to sell at 220. That's my plan, and then Google to sell at 180. So 180, I think that's my goal. If it does get to 173, 174 this week, Google, I'm going to do a cover call. Same thing for Amazon. If it gets to 211, 214, which that's a very high resistance for Amazon, I'm going to do another cover call on that, and then I hope I sell. If I don't sell, at least I make some money in the meantime. So it'll be all right. So that's the plan for the next week. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we'll just wait a couple more minutes, guys. If you guys have just barely joined the live, we'll get started in a few minutes. I usually start with some of the news and some of the most important things that happened today in the market, and then as we go, I share with everyone my plan for tomorrow, and then what the news are for tomorrow, what to expect, and then we can go from there. So I hope everyone, if you guys are trading, I hope you guys did okay today. If you traded today was a very bad day to trade, to be honest. Um, it was horrible. It was horrible. There was a lot of manipulation in the morning. By manipulation, I mean the hedge funds, the big dogs, the guys that trade stocks in the millions. Um, they were not buying, they were not selling, so the market was pretty flat in the morning. It dipped a little bit, and then it recovered towards the end of the day. But um, because of the bad news that happened in the morning, like early in the morning, and yesterday, the market should have dipped. It should have dipped, you know, at least 1%, 1.5%, and the spy, and it didn't. So that was weird. You know, I didn't know what was going on, but I thought that was odd that the market wasn't really moving. And then Powell spoke yesterday in the live. We talked about that. If you guys were here in the live yesterday, I did a quick live. Usually I try not to stay away for Saturday Sundays, but I had some time, so I wanted to share a little bit with you guys yesterday, and I did say that Powell should have moved the market, you know, based on the news he had to share. He should have moved the market, and he didn't say anything in regards to rate cuts at all, like nothing. That was also odd. He was at a conference where he shared a little bit of the history of the Federal Reserve, and you know how it goes back to like 85 years ago, and but nothing in relation to the stock market. So I thought that was odd too. So the market didn't react to Jerome Powell either, which as you guys know, he's the president of the Federal Reserve. So he didn't say anything. He didn't share any news at all in regards to the stock market or in regards to rate cuts, which is what everyone in the stock market is wanting to hear. What's going on with rate cuts? Are we gonna get some next month or are we not? So we didn't hear anything at all, and he doesn't speak until 2 weeks from now when he's going to talk about rate cuts. Most analysts they already priced in no rate cuts this month of June. So it's like 98% of analysts um, don't think there will be a rate cut this month. They believe it might get pushed to next month, to July. So we'll see. But everyone who is joining the live, welcome to the live. I'm here Monday through Friday, usually 9 to 10:30. That's my timing for to talk to you guys about the market. So if you guys are here and if you guys are sharing the live, I appreciate that as well. That helps me, reach more people, grow the channel, which my goal is to get to 10,000 followers eventually. So I hope I get to that. And I'm gonna try to do a little bit more lives in the summer. I get more time off in the summer, so I'll be doing that. Probably some lives in the morning when I'm watching the market. So if you guys have some time in the morning in the summer, and you want to watch that, I'll be doing a little bit more lives in the morning and afternoon. Uh, what do you think about Nvidia tomorrow? Nvidia, it's to me, I feel like Nvidia, it it needs to break that 137.90, and if it breaks that, then I think it should continue. It should continue to 140, 143. That's a range, and there's a lot of resistance at around 143, which I think was the previous high, 143.70. So exactly where my Fibonacci retracement tool is, 143, 144. So it needs to break that. Right now, at 137.38, it's kind of bearish to me, to be honest. Cooper. Hey, Cooper. What's going on, man? Yeah, so it's kind of bearish right now. It needs to hold that, and it needs to break that 137.80, 138, we could call it, in order to know that it's going to keep moving. But I'm not going to enter into any Nvidia position right now. For me, it only makes sense to enter into Nvidia at either 130 or below. Any um, any price below 130, I think I can buy some shares, and then if it goes down, I buy more. If it doesn't, then if it goes up from there, then I could just make a little bit of money. But I can buy some shares at 130 or below, but not right now, because it seems like it's in a range. It's close to all-time highs. So for me, the cushion, the profits that I can make from 138 to, let's say, 143, it's only about $5. So if it gets there, right? So I'm risking too much money on just a $5 increase. So I would rather wait for it to get to 130 or 127, 125. Then it's got, a little bit of room to go to, again, to 140 or 143. It's got more than $10 per share. So then now my risk is worth it. So, but as of now, I'm not looking into trading anything with NVIDIA. What do you think about NVTS? Jose, let's take a look at it. Is that Navitas? Is that the Navitas stock? I think that's what it is. Yeah, Navitas. That's the company. Didn't we talk about that the other day, Jose? That's the company that is partnering with NVIDIA, right? So here's my quick thought about this company. One, it had a big jump. You see that purple box? I put it there because that's a gap. That's a gap that it left when it was trading at $1.93, and from there it went to 7.8, yeah, to 7.50, and from there it just rejected that. And it's obvious, because such a big jump is not natural. And this is all because of news on NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is partnering with this company. I don't know if they bought some shares or they are going to do some kind of work for NVIDIA. I missed on that. But for me, if this company is going to move with NVIDIA, I'd rather put my money on NVIDIA because I don't know what this company is going to do. I don't know if NVIDIA is one day going to decide to cut ties with this company and then this company is going to go back to $2, okay, or less. So for me, if this company is doing what NVIDIA is doing, if NVIDIA moves up, this company moves up. If NVIDIA moves down, this company moves down. I'd rather put my money on NVIDIA. Not right now, but eventually, when it makes sense for me to enter into this company. But that's what I think on this company, Jose. So, it doesn't look bad. If they have good partnership with NVIDIA, but, just think about it. They were trading at $2 like 2 weeks ago, okay? And now they are at 5. Like, to me, it's just, the price increase is not natural. It's got to pull down. It's got to pull back, okay? See, Icor, thank you for sharing the live, man. Appreciate it. What are you thinking tomorrow then? So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about, well, first, I like to talk about what happened today. Okay, so now that we have a bigger group, let's talk about what happened today. And I want to share that with you guys. Then you guys can make your own conclusions. I make my own conclusions. And then we'll look at what's going on tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the first thing. I don't know if you guys heard. I posted on my story. So if you guys don't follow me yet, follow me. I post the stories as soon as I get them. I put them on my story so that you guys are up to date with what's going on with the market. In case you're entering into positions or planning to enter in the near future, you know more or less what's going on. So let's take a look at my news on Chrome. So I always look it up. What happened in the day, I always try to put it on a slide or on a tab so you guys can have a visual of it. So what happened today is that Trump wants all the offers. You know how he imposed tariffs on all the countries, pretty much all the countries around the world, and he's been getting a lot of deals, right? So he's been getting the countries come to the White House and say, hey, we're willing to negotiate. This is our deal. This is what we can offer. What do you think? So he's been getting, according to what the administration has shared with everyone, he's been getting a lot of deals from all of these countries. That's what they said, and he's just waiting on some other countries to present the deals to the United States. Well, today he set a deadline. He said everyone has to give me their best deal, whatever their deal is that they want to do with the United States. So that we can, work out the tariffs, or the percentages on the tariffs. The deal has to be presented to us by Wednesday. I'm assuming he meant this Wednesday, so the day after tomorrow, and all the deals have to be set by then. Okay, so that's gonna put some pressure on some other countries, because if they don't have the deal yet, they gotta work it out as soon as possible, submit it, and then I'm assuming the administration is going to take a look at those deals, see what works for them, what doesn't work, and then go from there, or maybe try to counter, from there. So that's something they shared today. That didn't really move the market, but at least now there's not a lot of uncertainty because now the market can start to price this in. Okay, if all the deals have to be submitted by Wednesday, that means that probably by July we will be done. Okay, we'll be done with tariffs and we will know where everyone is standing. And that's what the market likes. The market likes to know dates. They want to know, okay, if you're going to have this tariff, by when and how much. Okay, that's what they want. Market wants certainty, and uncertainty is what dips the market. Certainty is what makes the market go up, because now you can price in what's going to happen in a month from now or 2 months from now. So I'm taking this as somewhat good news. Okay, definitely going to put some pressure on other countries because they have to put their stuff together and send it in. So I think it's somewhat good news. Like I said, the market didn't really react to any of that was shared, but we'll see. We'll see how the market takes it tomorrow. Okay, so that was one of the things that happened today during the day. Now, here is something that happened and that was announced at the end of the market, and I did share this. The tackle. I didn't even notice that. They shared this with I shared this with you guys on my story. So I don't know if you guys got to see it, but at the end of the market, Trump or the administration or some of the news were filtered that he is going to extend the tariff pause on China. You guys know how a couple weeks ago he said, well, China, you're going to get 30% tariff down from 145, which he had implemented 3 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, he said, well, you guys are going to get only 30%. And well, we worked out some deals. Okay. So we're going to have this pause for 90 days. Okay. And I think the deadline was sometime in July. Okay. That's when the 90 days were going to hit. But he extended that today. He said, well, we probably need some more time. We're going to extend that until August 31st. That is something that the market liked. And after market, the market slightly pushed a little bit higher. Okay, especially stocks like Amazon, that depends a lot of on stuff that they import from China, because they sell a lot of stuff from China. But despite overall, it went up maybe like 1 or 2 points. So those news really pushed the market a little bit higher. Now, in the morning, we didn't really have good news. When the market opened, it was flat and a little bit in the negative, which I said that yesterday. If you guys were yesterday here in the live, I said tomorrow I think it's gonna be a flat day until Jerome Powell speaks. If anything, it's gonna be a little bit in the red, because there were no other news that were going to push the market. So same thing happened. It was flat. It was a little bit in the red until they announced those news. But here's the thing: we had somewhat bad news last week when they announced the 50% tariffs on steel. Okay, so Trump bumped it up from 25 to 50%, and that is something that the European Union didn't like. Okay, because they are still negotiating with the United States to work out some of the tariffs, and they didn't like that Trump just said, you know what, I'm going to put a 50% tariff on steel. All the steel that comes from the European Union, I'm going to put a tariff of 50%. And the European Union came out and said, hey, we're negotiating. Why are you putting tariffs on us? Why are you putting 50% on steel from the European Union? We're still working things out. So what's going on? Why are you being so aggressive with the tariffs? And that kind of scared the market a little bit, and that's why it was in the red slightly today in the morning. Now, in my opinion, that should have dropped the market, like at least not because of the 50% tariff, but because of what the European Union said, because that's a big deal. That's a big deal for the United States, and because of what they said, things not looking very well. I thought the market was gonna drop at least a point and a half. Okay, 1%, 1.5%, and it didn't. It was holding pretty much at the same price as the opening all day. It dropped a couple bucks, but it went back up. So what does that tell me? I believe that the hedge funds, okay, the hedge funds, like I said, the big dogs, the guys that buy stocks in the millions, they already knew about these news here about the extension of the tariffs, all of this. They already knew that. Okay, they just didn't say anything, and that's why the markets didn't really take the bad news as bad news, and the stock market didn't drop because for those kind of news, the stock market should have dropped a little bit, and it didn't. So it was pretty flat all day, and they were just, I mean, the hedge funds, they were just kind of manipulating what was going on in the stock market today. So again, that's just my opinion. I'm not talking about any conspiracy or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense. When there is bad news of this kind, then stock market drops, and it's just natural. It happens. It drops. But uh, since the stock market didn't drop, my best guess, educated guess, is that the hedge funds already knew that there was going to be an extension on the tariffs on some Chinese goods, and that's why the market held pretty strong today. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll see. These news came out at the end of the day, but again, that doesn't mean that the hedge fund didn't know that since early in the morning, because these guys have connections. I mean, these guys, they know what's going on hours before it actually happens, so they start moving their money, and the markets start reacting really quick to that. So I believe that's what happened. And we'll see. The market usually takes this kind of news as good news because it's an extension on the tariffs. That means we're still working on some things. But here is what might move the market definitely this week. Um, Trump said he will likely speak with President Xi from China this week, and I'm pretty sure it's got to do something with what he said last week, that there were some tensions with China because China was violating some of the deals they had when they paused the tariffs about some minerals that China's not wanting to export to the United States, something like that. So they will talk about that, okay, and hopefully remove some of the tension. Now, when they speak and Trump comes out and says, he releases the news on how the conversation went, then that's going to move the market, okay? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He didn't say what day. He just said he will speak with President Xi or Xi, however you pronounce it. He will speak with him this week. So that will definitely create a lot of volatility in the market. We'll just have to wait and see. But those were the news that happened today in the day, and we'll see how the market reacts to that tomorrow. The call, definitely, it's something that will move the market. Also, the deal with India, they keep saying they're going to announce it. I'm just waiting for that. I'm waiting for that to be announced so that we can see the market, move either up and down, or up or down. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait. Christian Tejeda, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Got it at 198. Unicorn, good job, man. Is that Navitas? You got Navitas at 198? Have you sold any? Have you taken some profit? See, Alien, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Jellyfish, thank you for the follow. Ronnie, thank you for the follow. Thank you guys. I hope you guys like the content I share and some of the news that I share about the stock market. So, very much appreciated. Tesla calls or puts tomorrow. PMP. Man, I wish I could give you like a straight answer, but Tesla is not looking good. Okay, it's not looking good. Yesterday somebody asked me about Tesla. I said Tesla in the next 2 weeks, so this week and next week, it's gonna be very volatile. It's probably gonna move up and down because of the event that it has about the robotaxi. Okay, that happens on the 12th, so next week. That is going to push Tesla, because of all the of all the speculation with this stock and what the robotaxi can do, I think that is going to create or make Tesla more volatile than it already is, because it's already a very volatile stock. It's a stock that can go 25% up in a week, and it could go 25% down in a week. So for that reason, Tesla is a very hard trade. This is a trade that not everyone gets into, unless you are a pro and you know what you're doing. Then definitely not for beginners. Okay, Tesla is a good stock, but it's a stock that is very volatile. So um, Tesla calls or puts tomorrow. That's very hard to say, man. I'm not gonna enter into Tesla unless it drops to like 250 to 20, where it was. When was it that price? Like a month ago or a month and a half ago. Okay. Yeah, like the 21st of April. It was trading at 224, 225. I would have entered into Tesla at that point, but I was entering into Nvidia, and I was buying a bunch of shares on Nvidia, so I didn't want to risk it with Tesla because, like I said, Tesla is very volatile. So, but that would be the only way that I would put my money into Tesla, because Tesla is already a very expensive stock. It's got a market cap. I'm sorry, and a price to earnings ratio of $190. So that makes it already a very expensive stock. So I wouldn't put my money into Tesla just now because of all the volatility that you're going to see in the next couple of days. If it's for a long term PMP and you don't plan to cash out until 3-4 years from now, 5 years from now, I think Tesla is a great stock. Okay, and it'll give you some profits. But again, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Should I invest in Ford, Carlos? Um, no, not financial advice, right? You know the rule. But stocks like Ford and Chevrolet and or GM, um, Toyota, like all of those stocks, they don't really move. They don't really move much, especially now with the tariffs on steel. I think they're gonna suffer a little bit because tariffs on steel will make cars more expensive. That will make the cars more expensive to produce for those companies. Me, you know, so they will sell less, and if they sell less, they make less money, right? So they have smaller margins for profits, and I think that's gonna affect those that particular sector of the automotive sector. So careful on that. I wouldn't. I don't invest in Ford. We can look at it. I don't even know what the ticker symbol is for Ford because I don't look at those stocks. Um, Ford. Oh, it's actually just Ford. Oh wait, no, it's not. Online. I don't know if you can give me the ticker symbol for Ford. We can take a look at it. Is it just F? Ford Motor Company? I think it's just F. Um, I mean, you're gonna see this stock either in the downtrend or just flat. Let's take a look. I mean, you can look at this stock. I mean, this stock back in 2013 was at $17. Right now, it's trading at 98. Stocks they're supposed to, okay, good stocks, to go this way, right, in an uptrend. If this stock is trading at what, $4 or $5 less than it was trading back in 2014, what does that tell you? Where is the growth, right? If you put money here, where is this stock gonna be in 10 years? Okay, so think about that. It doesn't even pay good dividends. Well, actually, it does. It pays, and that's the reason why. Okay, companies that don't really move, they offer good dividends. This one offers 5.78% dividend. So, I mean, if you plan to put a lot of money in there and leave it for years and just live off the dividend, that makes sense. But if you're not planning to do that and you just want your money to grow, or you're planning to use it as a swing trade, this is not the stock. This is not it. Okay. Again, not financial advice. You can do whatever you think is best, but I'm just giving you my point of view. Tigres, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Thoughts on DVA? Unicorn. DVA. What's DVA? DVA. Davita? What is that? Davita. Let's take a look at the daily. What does this company do? Engages the provision of medical care services. Oh, it's it's in the medical sector. These stocks tend not to move very much. Unicorn. Anything in the healthcare sector is a defensive stock, which means that if technology goes down and all their stocks go down, usually defensive sectors tend to do pretty good because you always need medical assistance and health services. So these stocks tend to do pretty good in bear markets. But I mean, it doesn't really move much, but it's in an uptrend, so that's a good sign. You know how it was back in 2001. It's been going up, and it peaked at 132 in June 2021. It peaked again at 180 December 24th. So it seems like it's got a healthy growth, and it's moving up. So if you want it for the long term, by all means. If you want it for a swing, I would not swing a stock like this because it moves very slow. It's not very volatile, and what a lot of traders like is the stock, the big jumps. Good companies, but they have good jumps. Jumps of $5-10, drops of $5-10, and that it moves up and down. This stock doesn't seem to be doing a lot of that. 134 to 136. I mean, somewhat of a good jump. I'm not saying it's a bad stock. It's a good stock. It seems like it's got some good. I don't know the fundamentals, but at least in the technicals, it looks pretty good. D-Stang, thank you. F, yeah, I figured it out, man. When I typed it, I was like, okay, that's the one. Let's see. Me too was going to split 50-50 between Nvidia and Tesla around late April. Should have, could have, would have. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just put it on in Nvidia just because for me it makes more sense because it's cheaper. The price to earnings ratio is cheaper on Nvidia than it is on Tesla. Tesla is right now it's a little bit expensive for my taste. Like I said, if it drops to like 200 to 20, then that makes sense for me because I never enter into Tesla when it was cheaper. So that will be the only way that I enter into that. Just to make sure that I make money, okay? Because I don't like to be uncertain on whether I can make money or not. I like to be certain. So that's just how I play things. Motivation. What is your prediction you have for Bitcoin right now? What's going on, man? What's going on, prediction? Bitcoin. I mean, it kind of had a little bit of a bounce to 106. I think I saw it earlier today. But again, Bitcoin does whatever it likes, man. I think it's gonna first it's going to reclaim that 102, which it's been wanting to. It's got good in the daily candles. I mean, they're a little bit bullish. You see that candle here, that hammer candle. Doesn't look too bad, but again, I think right now everything depends on the macroeconomy. So let's wait and see what we hear from Trump speaking to President Xi of China, and I think that's going to help Bitcoin move either up or down, depending on what the conversation, how the conversation goes. If we have good news on China and everything is going smooth with the deal, I do see Nvidia just bouncing off from it hit I think a low of 103, so and then just bounce off, try to break that resistance of 106, okay, because it's got resistance right there, and if it does break it, then it's again trying to hit that all-time highs again. But we have to hear news from good news, catalyst news to give that currency crypto give it a jump so it can go to all-time highs again. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Thank you guys for keeping the comments. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for tapping the screen and giving me some likes and following and follow this channel. So Eric, thank you for the follow, man. Nan Jesus, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's see. I don't want to lose any comments. Okay, you guys are my favorite people because you're watching my live. Tesla calls. Okay, so we got that. Tesla, Ford. We got that. Calls or puts on Amazon. Cooper. Amazon. So here's where Amazon needs to do. Amazon needs to break that 207, 208 resistance. That's where it's been. I mean, you can see here, right? If I move this line down here, that's where it is right now. You see all of these daily candles, resistance right there, resistance right here, resistance right here. It dropped from there. It bounced off the 20 SMA. It tried to hit resistance again here, resistance here, resistance here. So it's been struggling all of these days trying to break that resistance. If we get news, again, same thing, connection back to China. If we get good news on China, I see Amazon breaking this resistance and then going to 214, which is the next big resistance, which that's why I had it here. So if it does get there, I am going to place a covered call because I have shares on Amazon. I'm already in the positive, but I want to make some more money. So I'm waiting for it to hit 214, do a covered call to 220, and that's where I'm getting out. I'm getting out 220. So again, it depends on the news. Right now, there are no news on Amazon, so I think it's just gonna be in the 206, 207 that range. Maybe go down a little bit. Like today, it went all the way down to 202, 203. So it was trending in that range. There are no news that right now that can move Amazon unless we hear from the administration on some deals, whether it's a China talk with President Xi, or if we hear a deal with India, because that's also in the works. They said they were going to announce it this week, but we're still waiting on that. So Savvy, thank you for the roses, Savage. What'd you predict? Okay, we got Bitcoin. Me too. Okay, what is your take on AMC? Motivation. AMC. I don't like AMC, man. I don't like AMC. We can look at it, but I already don't like it. AMC Entertainment. So there we go. Okay, and I'll tell you what I don't like it. So just take a look at the daily candles. Remember, okay, I always say this here, and I know it becomes repetitive, but I'm not gonna get tired of saying it. The first thing number one, okay, after you analyze a stock, okay, analyzing a stock has several different parts. When you analyze the stock, you gotta look at how much in and I can just check it for you really quick. How much in cash flow does the company have? What does that mean? That means how much money do they have to expand their business, to pay their debt, to pay their employees, to pay for their buildings, to pay for everything else. How much cash flow do they have? So I don't know what the cash flow for this company is, but let's take a look at it. So you see here, I mean, I already knew why I didn't like it. I hadn't even seen the cash flow, right? But I knew it's not a good company because you see here, I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but if not, I'll just read it to you. But it says free cash flow right in the middle. See where that option comes up? See, free cash flow, negative 417 million. What does that mean? That means that they have more debt and they have negative cash flow, okay, compared to how much money they make. So they don't make enough to have some cash in hand. They don't have cash to expand their business. They don't have cash to pay for everything that they have to pay for. So the longer they keep running this business, unless they do something else, okay, they make a deal with someone or they try to create more revenue. Unless they do that, they're gonna keep creating more negative cash flow, which means that in the future they're gonna have to sell some business. They're gonna have to do something to reduce that negative cash flow. So that's one of the first things you have to look at, right, before you even look at the technicals. So if I was to analyze this company, that would be red flag number one. Negative cash flow. That's number one. Earnings. That's another thing you have to look at. How has the company been doing when they report earnings? Are they making money or are they losing money? So this one is a good earning. Last March they reported earnings, so it was not too bad. They surprised with 25. They made 25 million more than they say they were gonna make. But then the previous one, it's red. They missed on EPS, earnings per share. The previous one was good, but the previous one before that was bad, and then the previous one before that was bad. So when you start to see that, you're like, wait, if I put my money here, what tells me that the next earnings are going to be good or bad? Okay, that's again analyzing the stock. Then the second biggest thing you have to look at is the stock uptrending, going up, or downtrending, going down? And as you can see, I mean, this stock, from being in the sky all the way to like 160, 180, and I can just keep going back and hitting all-time highs of $392 4 years ago. Okay, 4 years ago it was at $392, and now it is at $3.44. Why would you put your money in a stock that was worth 344 and now it's worth $3? It should be the other way around. You buy it at 3 and you see an uptrend, hoping that it gets to 300 one day, not the other way around. Okay, so that's my analysis on this stock. Be careful. I mean, when you choose your stocks, pick stocks that are going up, not going down. Okay, I don't see a future in this stock. Right now, it's just making negative money. They're losing money. So be careful on that, man. Okay, so we got that. It's for good investment, so we got that as well. How much taxes come out when you sell stocks? Matt, you don't pay the taxes when you cash out. So when you sell the stocks, you don't pay taxes. You pay taxes at the end of the year when you get a statement from your broker saying how much money you made or how much money you lost, whatever the case is. And that's when you file your taxes. You have that form, and then that's when, if you made money, you pay taxes. But the way I see it is, if you made money and you're paying taxes, that means you did something good. Okay, you did something good in the stock market, even though you have to pay. That sucks, I know, but at least you're making money in the stock market, that's not a bad thing. Okay, being profitable in the stock market is one of the hardest things you're ever gonna do. And if you ended up in the positive at the end of the year, I mean, props to you. No, you gotta pay the taxes, but again, that's not a bad thing. Matt, 15% long term, more than a year. Normal income tax for short term. Yeah. So unicorn, yep. So it is 15%, but you have to fall into certain brackets. Okay. And I think if you hold less than a year, it's 20%. Okay, but again, that depends on your brackets. If you're making a lot of money already, you fall into a different bracket where you pay more. But typically, most people fall into that bracket of 20%. All right, let's see. Mad. Okay, so 4K. 4K, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Hope you like the content. I play UNH calls, made money. Do you think it will fly higher? D-Stan. Okay, I'm going to tell you something interesting about UNH. Okay, I saw those news early in the morning. I posted that in my story too. I don't know if you saw it. So a firm came out and said they are holding UNH as a hold stock. So they are having the price target of about 308 as of now. And on top of that, we haven't heard anything about what they were accused of, which is fraud on Medicare. We haven't heard any news. And it's been, what, about a month? I want to say 3 weeks. So, in my opinion, no news is good news in this case. If we haven't heard anything, because they're still investigating, but we haven't heard any news on UNH making the fraud or whatever the case was when they were accused of this. We haven't heard anything. So as of now, I think I don't want to say it's a buy yet until you hear good news. But I think as of now, it's been in that trend of 290. Let me look at it because I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. I think it's 290 and 310. Let's see. Yeah, so about 290, and then highs of like 310, somewhere around that range. So it's been in that range for a little while. It's very choppy though. Like to enter into this position without news, I mean you don't know. So we need to hear some news so that we know whether it's gonna fly or not. But in the long term, this thing I think this is a good stock in the long term for like 3 4 years. Matt, so off. Okay. What do you think about a short-term trade on Crowd or Palantir this week and Nvidia break out at 145? Witter, what's going on, man? Let me see. You give me a lot of stocks, so let me give you two of them. Palantir. Palantir is at all-time highs, and short-term trade. You planning to short this stock? Because Palantir is at all-time highs and it's already a very, very, very expensive stock. I think it's one of the most expensive stocks I've seen in my trading life. Um, where is it? Palantir. So I'm not saying it's a bad company. Okay, we talked about this company too on one of my lives. It's not a bad company. It's a good company. I think they're making a lot of deals with the government. I think they signed a deal with Trump administration on Social Security because they're going to be running some data on Social Security and also on with the IRS, so that because they have this good technology where they can run information on a person and their background in less than 5 minutes. Okay, which usually takes someone else usually a couple months. Their software and their technology could do it in 5 minutes. So they're getting really good deals with the government, but that doesn't mean it's a cheap company to buy. It's a very expensive company. And any bad news, okay, remember this. We'll talk about this one day. I know. One day there'll be some bad news on Palantir. I'm not, again, it's just my opinion. Uh, and when those bad news drop, Palantir will drop very heavy, and it already happened. It already happened when it was trading at 124. There were some bad news about not wanting to spend a lot of money on defensive stocks or on budget cuts. There were some budget cuts on the defense by the government, and that made Palantir go from 125 all the way to like $60. That is 50% drop on one stock. Okay, and I'm not making it up. It's right here. You guys see it on the chart? See, back in February it was at 125, and then it dropped to $75. And this was before the tariffs. Okay, this was before the tariffs were announced. It dropped to $74. So that's what, like a $50 drop, right? And then the tariffs were announced and all the stocks were affected. But you know what I mean? So you can have aggressive growth, but when this stock gets bad news, it will drop again 20, 30, 40, $50. So if you're buying up here, you're playing with fire. Okay, it's very dangerous because again, this stock is very expensive, and investors know they're very expensive. The hedge funds who buy this stock, I don't even know if they do buy this stock, but if they do, they know, and they will find out what's going on, or if this stock is gonna get bad news, they will find out hours before we do. So they will start selling, and the ones that are gonna pay and lose their money are us, because we are the ones that don't find out until a couple hours later. So be careful on that. Um, be careful with that stock. Palantir is very expensive. It's not a bad company, but it's very expensive right now. Let's see. Nvidia break out at 145. I don't know. I think it needs catalyst news to break 145. Witter. I don't think it's just gonna break out 145 on nothing. I think we need good news on China. We need good news on India. We need more deals, and then I do see it going to 145. How to know if a stock is good to invest, Carlos? So I just talked about it. I don't know if you heard me. The first thing is to look at the fundamentals. Okay, the fundamentals of the company. You have to look at a company. Whatever company you want to analyze, you have to look at the P ratio. You have to look at um, cash flow. Okay, you have to look at the previous earnings to see if they've been getting money for the past earnings, what their earnings are, how much money they make. You have to look at the plans for the future. So you have to analyze the stock deeply, and you have to look at the beta. Okay, the beta, as you can see here, okay, beta, that means how much does the stock move? Okay, does it move with the stock market? Like if the S&P 500 moves 1%, does this move 1% too? Or does it move 10%? Or does it move 20%? Like how volatile it is, so that you know how much you're gonna risk with this stock. So you got to look at those things before you even look at the charts. Hey bro, last time I was in your stream, you said Nvidia up after earnings, and we're right. Ocho, well, here's the thing. I knew they were gonna have good reports, Ocho, because of the history. Okay, they've been making massive money every time they report. It's like it's amazing just to see how much money they're making. They're making billions of dollars, like 45 billions of dollars every 3 months. That's insane. And because of everything, I mean, I stay up with the news of who they're dealing with, if they're closing more deals on with other countries, and because I know they've been closing a lot of more deals with other countries, I know they're selling like crazy, and this is without taking into account that they're not being allowed to sell to China, and that's another thing. For those of you that are watching Nvidia, if we get some news that Nvidia is allowed to sell to China, this stock is gonna go bananas. It's gonna go to all-time highs. Okay, I guarantee that. Because right now they gave a guidance, they gave a prediction of how much money they're going to make in the next 3 months. Okay, and they said, well, we're gonna make about $46 billion for the next 3 months, and obviously the investors like that, and they said, we're gonna make that money without counting China. We're not gonna count it because right now we can't sell to China because of all the restrictions that the administration put on us. So we can't sell to China right now the chip that we want to sell. So we're gonna make 46 billions without counting China. Imagine if they were to count China in. Okay, so keep that in mind. Food for thought. Stocks were you looking at this week? Ocho. I'm just trying to sell my positions, man. I sold Nvidia, right before earnings at like 137. So I didn't wait for earnings. I know it went up, but I didn't want to risk it because I don't like to play earnings on any stock, and that's just me, just playing it safe. So I got out of Nvidia, made some money there. My next position is Amazon and Google. I'm trying to get out of those two, so those are the ones I'm watching. Amazon and Google. If Amazon gets to 214, I'm gonna do a cover call to 220, and then I'm out. If Google gets to like 173, 174, which it was already there last week, then I'm gonna do a cover call at 180, and then I'm out. So those are the ones I'm looking at. Junior, thank you for the follow, man. Thank you, bud. Motivation, no problem, man. And I hope you're looking at good stocks. And I hope you were able to catch what I said about how to look at a good company. Once you look at, if the company's making money, if it's got good cash flow, all of these good things about this company, then you look at the charts, okay? And I mean, I have, why would I play AMC when I have a company like Nvidia, who's making billions of dollars, and is clearly in an uptrend? I mean, let me show you this. Let me show you these candles, right? So this stock in 2020 or 2021 was trading at $28, and then it went to 49, and then it went to 94, and then it hit all-time high at 153, and it bounced back, but it's still growing. It's still going in that uptrend. So if I see a stock like this, I'm like, hey man, take my money and make me some money, because I know it's going in an uptrend, and I know it's got good plans for the future. I know Tesla depends on the I mean, you guys know Tesla, right? Tesla and all the cars, they depend on this company to sell them chips to Tesla. So I know they're gonna sell a lot to Tesla. I know they're gonna sell a lot to Meta. Okay, Meta's gonna buy a lot of chips from Nvidia. And for those of you that don't know Meta, Meta is the owner of Instagram, of Facebook, of Threads, or whatever the other social network is. So they're selling a lot, and they're selling to Saudi Arabia too. Okay, Nvidia. So for me, that's a good stock because I see a lot of potential. Unicorn, thank you for the follow, man. I hope I earned your follow, so appreciate that. I know you asked some questions earlier. You were probably testing me, but I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you following me. Snapshots. Thank you for the follow, man. Same thing. Thank you. Thought about Nintendo Switch 2 coming out. Matt, I actually got one. Um, I mean, that has nothing to do with stocks for those of you that are here. But I did buy a Nintendo 2 Switch. I'll be picking it up on, I don't know if I'll go for it on Thursday uh, or wait until Friday. I don't know. I might do a video. So if you guys are interested in watching that, I'm a gamer. Um, but yeah, I'm a picking it up on Thursday night. I think I have to go at 9 for us. Tony Tones XRP. That stock, man. That's all I can say about that one. I don't do crypto. It might be that I just don't understand it. You know, I'd rather do put my money where I know I can see earnings. You know, but I mean XRP, it's in a downtrend right now. That's all I can tell you from the technicals. It hit a high of like $3, and it's just been in a downtrend. So if I knew stuff about XRP, I would not trade it unless it hit that downtrend. See that line hitting here, and hitting here. It needs to break that downtrend for me to know that it's gonna continue to move up. Otherwise, my thinking is this stuff is gonna continue to go down. Thoughts on UNH? This time, we just talked about that, didn't we? The UNH. So I just said I'm not. Right now, it's just trending. You know, at 290, 310. I made money with calls when it reached 312 today. Thinking of getting in more. Um, when did you play some those calls? Did you play? You place them like way before when it dropped like to like 250? This time. I don't know that it's gonna move anymore. I think it's gonna be in that. Usually, healthcare stocks don't really move much, so that is not like a technology stock, like Apple or Nvidia or Microsoft. Those stocks move, you know, $20, $30, sometimes in a couple of weeks, sometimes in a month. The healthcare stocks don't really move much. They'll move $5 a week, you know, $10 a week. This stock in specific or in particular moved a lot because it dropped a lot. But usually for this stock to get back or get all the gains or that it lost, it's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna take a couple of years. Um, Thank you for the follow. I can't read your name, but thank you for the follow. Check out AI Quant Studio on Google. I'm the founder. AI Quant. What's the ticker symbol? FBAM. We can take a look at it. Thanks, dude. Do you teach trading? You explain it so well. No, man. But I've been working on a course for the past, I'll say, 3 months. Just with the time that I have left, you know, I haven't been able to finish it. But in the summer, I get some time off, so I will be finishing it in the summer, and then I'll be offering it to people who wanna take it. If they don't want to take it, you know, it's fine. But it's just to kind of offer a little bit more guidance so that they can know how to swing trade. That's my expertise. I swing trade. I don't do day trade. I don't do scalping. I swing trade and I do long term investment, just because it's more safe for me, and that way I don't have to sit in front of the computer all day and still make money. Day trading, they make a lot of money. They make sometimes way more money than swing traders, but it's a lot more stressful, and you have to be sitting in front of the computer at least 3 4 hours when the market is open, and it's just the main thing is that it's very stressful because you have to be looking at at candles of 1 minute, 5 minutes, and those candles move like crazy, just like this. I don't know if you guys have seen those when they move when the market is open. They are like crazy candles, and I don't know. I tried it. I didn't like it. I made some money day trading, but like I said, it was too stressful. I didn't like that. But yeah, that'll be happening, and sometime in the summer, I'll keep you guys posted if you guys are interested. Let's see. Share. Icor, thank you for sharing the live, man. Appreciate it. Do you do options? Can you explain it? Sounds confusing when someone explains it to me. Tony, I can explain it very easy. Okay, so options. Okay, I'll explain to you the long call. So when you buy options, that means that you're telling the market, hey, I think let's look at a stock to give you a hands-on. Okay, let's say we're looking at Microsoft. Okay, so you say, well, I think Microsoft. You tell the market, I think Microsoft is gonna go to 480. Right now it's 461. No, you tell the market, hey, I think it's gonna go to 480, and I wanna maybe buy the stock at 480. So you're gonna pay the market a premium. Okay, the premium varies. Okay, the premium is just like the money you pay for the contract. Okay, to make your prediction. So you pay for that, and they say, well, each one of the each one of the shares that you buy in this contract is gonna be worth 10 cents. Okay, just to give you an example, 10 cents. It varies. Sometimes it's 20 cents, 50 cents, 5 cents. So that I can't give you an exact amount because it all varies, depending on how the market is doing. But if you place a contract and you say, I wanna buy this stock at 480, okay, and I'm gonna pay this premium, and if it doesn't get to 480, okay, uh, I mean, if it does get to 480, or if it gets higher than 480, all of that is gonna be my profit. Okay, so let's say this stock, you predicted this stock to be 480, and you paid uh, $500 for the contract. No? So you paid that premium, and the stock market, the stock on Microsoft goes to 485. At that point, the market will come to you. Okay, if it once it expires, because you have to set an expiration date. Once it expires, the market will come to you and say, hey, do you still want your shares at 480? And then you'll keep the difference. Okay, but you have to pay for those shares, and then you'll make the difference. Or what do you want to do with the shares? Or do you just want to keep the premium? Okay, we'll give you that money back, and you'll get the money back, and you'll get whatever the stock, whatever the difference is between the 480 and 485, or however high the stock went. So it's a little bit tricky because you have to be right on two things. You have to be right on hitting the price target, which will be at 480, and you have to be right on the expiration date. Okay, let's say that your stock doesn't go to 480, it goes to 479 on the expiration date. Well, you lose your premium. Whatever money you paid the market, which in this case I said 500, you lose that money. Okay, but again, if it goes above 480, then you keep the difference. Okay, above 480, and you get the chance to buy the shares at 480. Most people, they just want to make quick money. They don't. But again, it's totally up to you. But there's a lot of risk with options, because you can lose your whole premium. You can lose your $500 if it doesn't get to that price target, or that the strike price they call it. So I don't do options. The only options I do is with my own money, which is covered calls or cash secure puts. If you're curious about cash covered calls, I have a video that I put on my that I pin on my profile at the very top, so you can watch it. That way, you can have an idea more or less what a covered call looks like. Um, I have to say that each contract that you place with options is worth 100 shares. So you do have to have that capital. Okay, so if you're buying 100 shares of Microsoft, you have to have $46,000. Okay, to be able to, well, not with cover calls, not with not with options. So that's a good thing about options, that you don't have to have that money because you don't have to buy the shares. Um, so that's a good thing about doing options that way. But I like I said, I don't do options. I just do cover calls. Let's see. Icor, thank you again for the share, for sharing the live. Indeed, they're crazy. Good night, Maestro. Be back tomorrow. Okay, Icord, thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Double, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Do you trade options? No, I don't do options. Like I said earlier, it's very complicated. You have to be right on those two things. You have to be right on the strike price. You have to be right on the date. You have to really understand it to be able to make some money on that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm against options. I like options. It's just you have to be very lucky, and have a good prediction on where the stock is gonna go. So I might do some options later. I'm actually taking a workshop in a couple weeks about options. So I want to see what else I can learn, and it's a 2 day workshop. So we'll see. But as of now, I don't really do options. All right. I think that what if it goes over and drops back under by the expiration date? Morlon, it has to close above at the expiration date. Okay. Otherwise, it expires worthless. That's what they call it. The contract expires worthless, and they just keep your premium. That's it. Okay. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of safe because all you lose is those $500. I mean, still, it's $500. But that's the thing with options. They just take your money. But there's a lot of people that make a lot of money with options. Some people make huge cash with options. All right. Okay. So let me share one more thing before I leave today. So tomorrow, what to expect tomorrow for all of you guys that are going to be watching the market. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Tomorrow we have one piece of data that the Federal Reserve is going to be watching, which is the job openings. So how many jobs have been created in the United States for the past month? Now, how does that affect the market? Well, the Federal Reserve is going to look at how many jobs were opened in the last month. If the amount, I think the predicted amount is, let's see, 7 million jobs. So 7 million jobs. If the um, if the amount exceeds, that's bad. That's bad for inflation because that means more people have a job, which means more people are going to spend money, which means inflation is going to continue to move up. Now, if the jobs added is comes in lower, then the Federal Reserve starts thinking, well, there's less people working, which means there is less money to be spent on things, which means inflation is coming down. Okay, so the Federal Reserve uses these type of data to put it together along with CPI and PPI and PCE, all of those different reports that they get to know whether inflation is going up or inflation is coming down. The reports we have received for the past couple of weeks, they've been really good, uh, indicating that inflation is going down. So we'll see what those reports show tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time. That's when those reports are released for um, the job openings. So we'll see. That might influence the market because again, the Federal Reserve looks at that closely to know, the health of inflation. So that's what we have for tomorrow. And of course, the talk with between Trump and the president of China. I don't know if it's gonna happen tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday. It's supposed to happen this week. They didn't say when, but that's something that everyone's gonna be watching. So, what I expect tomorrow in the market is, I think it's just gonna be pretty flat tomorrow if there are no news. Um, Either flat or slightly in the green. It's still gonna be, I think it's gonna be trending or ranging in the flat or positive. There are no news that are going to make the market jump, okay, unless we hear something from Trump and China. So that's what we expect tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But I'll keep you guys up to date. If you guys don't follow me yet, follow my profile. I'll be dropping. I usually put my on the stories, the most updated news, whatever happens in the market. As soon as I find out, I put it on the story. So you guys might want to check that out. And again, thank you for joining this today. I'll be here tomorrow again at 9 p.m. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys tomorrow.